You're listening to the Crystal Bar podcast, where crystals, astrology, and aligned living meet the cycles of the moon and year. I'm Claire, and each week I bring guidance and stories to inspire you to live with clarity, connection, and purpose. So take a deep breath, make this time for you, and let's begin. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of the Crystal Bar podcast. Do you know what? I hope you're doing well, because it's been a bizarre time, hasn't it? I don't know how you're doing. I don't know how you're feeling, but the energy is definitely shaking something up. And the new moon that we've just had was all about balance. It was all about really being open and honest about how you're feeling about people, yourself, your situations. And yeah, it's kind of done a 380 and like a 180 and flipped things about for many of you. I know this because of all the messages I have been receiving in my inbox, asking for guidance about crystals and feelings and energy and life in general. And do you know what? You're not alone. There's so many people out there. But I do hope you're doing really well. I do. And I'm sending you so much love and light wherever you are listening from. And actually, it's been a bit of a week here as well in our house. Arnie's been a little bit under the weather. He seems okay himself. But he's still eating, he's wagging his tail, he keeps following me around, he likes snoring on the bed, he's got his own little blanket on our bed because he just loves laying there. It's his favourite spot in the whole house. So I change that out every few days because being old now, he does get a bit pongy. But, you know, I just think perhaps it's slowing down is because he's getting old. He's 10 and a half, which to me in small dog age is still quite young, but suddenly something shifted. It could just be the energy of the time of the year, I suppose. But if you don't mind just sending a little healing energy his way, some gentle calming vibes, I'd really appreciate it. It would really mean the world to me. But no, I do think perhaps it is the change of the season for him, the energetic thinning of the veil. Things are starting to get a bit damper. Perhaps his bones and muscles aren't feeling as nice as normal. But funnily though, he does seem to be able to run around and run very fast when the postman knocks the door. As soon as that postman is at the door, he hears their foot and then a knock on the door, and whoosh, he is down there barking and protecting the whole house. So, oh gosh, with the emotional intensity of the Scorpio season starting tomorrow, perhaps it's just that. But I can't talk about both my doggies without talking to you about Ivy as well. She's, as always, keeping me company, aren't you, Ivy? Just giving her a little tickle right now. Completely oblivious to all of this. She lives in her own world. She's been a usual mischievous self, haven't you? She's looking at me as if, so are you talking about me? Don't talk badly about me. I'm just the perfect little doggy. But oh my gosh, she seems to have become a food monster. She's always liked her food, but she loves sitting right by my feet when I prep her meals, our meals, because I feed the dogs separately. I like to keep that all very separate so they know their time, we know our time. But now she started sitting next to me, especially if I've cooked like a roast dinner, and she'll come and sit by my chair and look up at me, pleading for morsels and little tidbits off the plate like broccoli. Broccoli seems to be their favourite at the moment. So I suppose I can't complain, but it makes me feel guilty. But she's also running around with her teddy collection like crazy. Normally they're left all around the house. I have to be very careful not to trip over them. But she's got a little piggy, her bumblebee and her lion, and they're all tiny puppy-sized toys because her mouth is so tiny. They're basically the perfect fit for her. You know, the puppy-sized toys are ideal. Where Arnie loves to, on the other hand, he's got like long foxes, like they're long, very pliable toys. They've got no filling, so he can whip them about. And he does. And then often or not, they're thrown at us on the sofa, which is so funny. But he does love to whip around dramatically. They're like his pride and joy. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I waffled on about Arnie and Ivy. I know you like to hear about them sometimes. And the past few weeks I haven't spoken to you about them. So there we go, a little update about Arnie and Ivy. But Also, as well, we've actually started to slowly put the garden to bed for winter. I don't know if you guys are doing the same. We'd hoped to have gotten all of our fences painted before the rain set in, but honestly, the weather's been on and off drizzle for what feels like weeks now. We had the most longest dry spell. We were really organised. We bought this lovely new stain for our fences. And then out of the blue, with it doesn't even forecast it, we had rain. It's almost like the garden is saying, no, don't do it yet. I like the natural greying, light wood colour. They were a really lovely colour when we moved in, and they still are lovely now, don't get me wrong. We thought we'd just give them a little bit of oomph and look after them. Oh, the squirrel! The squirrel, we've cut our trees down a little bit. So we've got I'm sorry, I'm just digressing. Oh my gosh, how lovely. We've got trunks of trees that we cut right down. They were like 50, 60 feet high when we moved in. They're like conifers. We've cut them down, so we still have privacy from the houses behind, but we've got a lot more sky in the garden now. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know all this anyway. And the trunks are like the perfect stepping stones all the way across, and the squirrel's just flown across. I've not seen him much this year. I think it's been so warm for them that they've been chilling out in the shade of their big trees that they live in. But how lovely. What does a squirrel mean spiritually? I can't think off the top of my head, but there we go. I send all those vibes to you. But what was I saying? Oh yes, I was waffling on about the garden. It still looks beautiful. The grass, though, is peppered with the most golden leaves. I don't know about where you live, but the trees are glowing with the most rich yellows. And they actually promised us this year, the weather people. They said because it had been so dry, the leaves would be more colourful. So yeah, reap what you sow and everything. We are definitely the trees are definitely putting on a beautiful display. I'm actually just looking out there now and it's stunning. The most banana yellow leaves I've ever seen. And against the rich green colours, it's just so majestic and beautiful. There we go. They're so right. It's been such a vivid golden season. Let me know how it is where you are. I don't know if you've seen on my Instagram and Facebook page, but I actually did share a reel last week of the trees looking out towards the front of the crystal bar. So if you haven't seen that, have a little look-see at the crystal bar and enjoy. So speaking of energy, let's talk about Scorpio season because, oh my gosh, what a season it is going to be. Now, Scorpio season officially begins tomorrow, Thursday, October the 23rd, and this one comes in with that deep, magnetic, transformative power, that Scorpio is so known for. Think of it as this season of emotional rebirth. Think of it as the universe asking you what you are ready to release so that you can step into your next chapter. We've also got Jupiter clashing with Chiron, which might sound a little intense, and it is, but Jupiter expands everything it touches, and Chiron represents our deepest wounds and healing. So this week you may feel a little tug of the past resurfacing, not to hurt you, but to help heal you. It's almost like a cosmic nudge to turn old pain into wisdom. And on October the 24th, we have St. Raphael's feast day. Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing, peace, and divine restoration. So it's a perfect time to call on him for protection, especially if you've been feeling anxious, drained, or emotional foggy. Light a green candle. Carry your favourite healing crystal like green aventurine or emerald and ask Raphael to wrap you in his emerald light of peace. And then, of course, we are now moving towards Halloween or Samhain. When the veil between the worlds becomes its thinnest, you might actually find yourself sensing loved ones around you more or noticing flickers of energy in your peripheral vision. Honestly, it's nothing to fear. This is a time for connection, reflection, and honouring the cycle of life and spirit. We're also going to experience some stormy weather here in the UK this week. And as I always say, weather is energy too. When the skies shake and the wind howls, it's nature's way of cleansing. Pay attention to what the weather is trying to tell you. Is there something you need to clear out, prepare for, or finally let go? And before we get into our zodiac crystal guide for Scorpio season, I just want to say a big heartfelt thank you for all of your Halloween mystery box orders. Oh my goodness, they've been flying out this year, and seeing your photos, your excitement, and your stories has been such a joy. And to those of you who have booked readings, thank you as well. I've now started the year ahead readings, and oh my gosh, wow. The energy has been incredible. With the veil thinning, the messages are coming through so fast lately. I've had to consciously pause to breathe and ground between them. Such a powerful energy, but it's beautiful too. Right, now let's talk though about Scorpio season for each of your zodiac signs and which crystal to carry through this deeply transformative time. So, as it is Scorpio season, I know I normally start with Aries, but this time I'm going to start with Scorpio, okay? So, Scorpio, it's your season. So everything feels amplified, your emotions, your intuition, your desires, all heightened. So this is your personal solar new year. Step into your power with smoky quartz to keep you grounded and calm as new beginnings unfold. Sagittarius, you're diving inward before your season begins. Use this time to rest and reflect, and carry Labradorite to awaken intuition and guide you through self-discovery. Capricorn, you're redefining your goals and your friendships. Let go of what feels heavy. Carry obsidian to cut ties with the past and stay protected. Aquarius, this is your career glow-up moment. Transform your path and follow your instincts. Pyrite will support confidence and manifestation. Pisces, you're expanding spiritually. Dreams and synchronicities are so strong. Carry amethyst to stay balanced while you swim in those deep, intuitive waters. Aries, old fears may rise, but you're ready to face them. Carry your carnelian to give courage, motivation, and focus. Taurus, relationships are going to deepen now, even if something's been unclear. The truth surfaces. Carry rose quartz to keep your heart open, yet protected. Gemini, your routines, health, and work patterns are going to shift. So stay grounded with red jasper to maintain balance and focus. Cancer, passion and creativity are awakening. Follow what lights you up and carry sunstone to boost joy and confidence. Leo, home and family themes are highlighted. Nurture your sacred space with black tourmaline or selenite for protection. Virgo, communication is key this month. Express yourself from the heart. Carry blue lace agate for peaceful and honest words. And Libra, money, self-worth and stability take the spotlight. Carry citrine to attract abundance and confidence. So overall, if you don't feel like you perhaps align with those crystals quite yet, overall for Scorpio season, my favourite crystals to work with are smoky quartz for grounding and transmuting intense emotions, Labradorite for intuitive strength and protection, obsidian, of course, for releasing what's hidden or heavy and ultra protection of energy, garnet for rekindling the passion and power, and amethyst for emotional clarity and divine connection. Now, I've actually had a couple of listener questions this week, and I apologise. Some of you have sent them via voice note and I haven't had time to write them all out yet. So please, if you have anything you ever want me to share on social medias or on podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could send them in a written format. If you send them in voice format, do that, and then send a note afterwards saying you're happy for me to play your story onto the podcast, and I'll do it that way. But just let me know, okay? Either way, just try to make my life easier, please, because I have so many things on my mind. I'd be so truly grateful for that. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay. So Josephine has asked, what's the best crystal to carry when feeling anxious about a meeting, especially in the car or before arriving? Now, I gave this some thought because there are a few that spring to mind, Josephine. But do you know what? I'm going to go for lepidolite because it's rich in lithium and it's like holding a lot of calm in your hand. You can also pair it with black tourmaline for grounding and to absorb any stressy vibes around you. You don't have to carry them with you, but if you can have them in a little pouch, on your lap, in your pocket, in your side door, just keep them as close as possible. Even if you can tie them and hang them, actually don't, because that's going to be obstructing your view. I was going to say from your mirror. I know people put air fresheners there, but I'm not going to give that advice. Just try and keep them as close as possible though, okay? Perhaps even on a key ring, so that if they're on your keys, if you use a key ignition now, I know many cars aren't like that, they'll be by your lap, won't they? So there you go. But yeah, lepidolite and black tourmaline, my lovely. Okay, and then I have a question from Simon. Hi, Simon. First time listener. Hello. He's asked, what's a good crystal to pop in your pocket for an interview? Simon, firstly, we wish you every success and all the luck in the world, but I always recommend citrine or tiger's eye because both boost confidence, courage, and clear communication, and you'll walk in with solar energy that basically says, I've got this. Also, as well, his sister has asked, okay, no, that's cool. I'm just reading through. What crystal should I put in my hallway for Halloween to protect my home when opening the door to trick-or-treaters? Love that question. Okay, I would actually suggest a combination of black tourmaline, selenite, and clear quartz by the doorway. The tourmaline acts as a barrier, selenite purifies the energy, and clear quartz amplifies peace and protection. Okay, I am aware that some of you have asked questions. I'm just going to flip over to that. One moment. Let me just pause. I'll be back. Okay, there's actually quite a few questions from last week. I think I might need to do a separate episode because they're not personal questions. Interestingly, do you know what? I'll go through a couple of them. So the first one was, how do seasons affect our relationship with crystals? Great question as well. They don't affect our relationships with crystals, but our needs change. So crystals' relationships with us can change because as we go through the seasons, we might be more happier in the summer or the winter, depending on us and our energy, so they need to work harder or less harder for us. I would say our relationship changes because our needs change, so we might be more attracted perhaps this time of year to more protective crystals, grounding crystals, or even enlightening crystals if we suffer with a seasonal sad. So yeah, I'm not sure our relationships seasons affect our relationships with crystals. I would say that our needs change. Perhaps could you write back to me and just elaborate on what you mean more? And then I'll go into that more, perhaps as a whole different subject, because I feel like it could be something quite good. Okay, another question is, what are some crystal no-nos rules-wise? There are none. It so annoys me. Yes, of course, if you want it, elaborate there. It annoys me when people put fear into the world regarding spirituality, crystals, and the do's and the don'ts and the rules. Do you know what? Everybody's journey is their own journey. Everybody's energy, needs, wants differ. So what might be a no-no for one person, because, for example, they might need a certain support, will work perfectly for someone else. Now, perhaps a no-no I could say that does spring to mind is the mixing of crystals, in that if you're wanting to get more energy and be more radiating and motivation, I wouldn't necessarily pair that with a black crystal. So if you had like orange calcite for that, I wouldn't then pair it with hematite or black obsidian, because that's a grounding crystal. So you're going to have a conflict of like a high vibrational crystal with a grounding crystal. So I wouldn't mix some crystals. Perhaps a no-no as well would be obviously water-safe crystals. I wouldn't put ones that can disintegrate or get destroyed. I wouldn't necessarily put those in water. I don't know that there are any huge no-nos though. You know, as a crystal healer and somebody who works with energy, I've not come across anything that says, as a rule, you shouldn't do as such. I mean, there are ways to use them better. I wouldn't say it's a no-no not to use them in the ways we don't direct you to. For example, how to use manifestation quartz and celestite and clear quartz and citrine on a new moon to raise your vibrations and help you manifest more. But you can still do that on any other day. It just works better. So to me, I'd like to flip that question round, that what are some crystal yeses you know, about perhaps learning to use your crystals in a better way so that you understand their properties and how to utilize them for each situation you're in. That's a yes. But, you know, if you're just intuitively choosing a crystal without even caring what they do, there's still a reason you've gone for that crystal energetically, subconsciously. So I don't know. I feel like I've waffled. Perhaps you guys could reach out to me. You know, what are some no-nos? Perhaps a no-no for me is don't actually gift someone moldavite or a highly transformative crystal such as, moldavite. That's the one. Malachite can be quite transformative as well, but in a gentler way. So perhaps that's a no-no. Don't gift. If you're trying to impart energy onto someone through ill feeling, so like, for example, if you're wanting to disrupt someone's life in some way by changing the course, do not give them any crystals, because it's just not fair, and those crystals will still work for them in a good way, but moldavite is definitely transformative. It can be unsettling. Having it in the house can be energetically transformative and make things massively shift. So just think perhaps about what you're gifting and why, and come from a place of well-being if you're gifting crystals. And the last message is crystal safe to make tonics with. Oh, okay, tonics. Now, to me, tonic is alcoholic. I wouldn't suggest any crystal for any alcoholic. If it was a tincture, so like, that's alcoholic as well. If you were looking at an elixir with water, I would definitely just stick with quartzes. Amethyst, citrine, clear quartz, green aventurine, rose quartz. I would just stick with those. Try not to sway out from clear quartz. Clear quartz is the hardest crystal. It's not porous. Sorry, all quartzes are so hard. They're not porous. They're almost glass, but they're not. So they're not going to leach out any kind of, if you like, for example, a soft crystal with salts or a tourmaline or a jasper, they could leach out some of the crystal's toxins basically into the water. So, I mean, personally, I would stick with the quartzes, but also as well, I would actually not put it in the water. I'd create a circle of crystals, fill up your clean bottle. Sorry, Ivy's just jumping on me. Okay, Ivy, good girl. And then touch the crystals around the base and let it infuse overnight. That's how I would probably best make an elixir or a tonic, as you call it. But again, reach out to me. Let me just double check what you're actually asking. If you're looking at herb tonics, I don't know. Just come back to me with some more information about what it is, and I will actually speak properly about it in a future episode, just so I know that I'm being clear on what you're asking. And my final question, I'm giving it its own little segment and thank you, by the way, for all those lovely questions. Sorry, you've kept me very busy this week. It's been wonderful. But this lovely lady reached out and said, "Hi, Claire. I've just I just had a question regarding your money bowl post. When should you start again or refresh from the start? As I've been adding every Friday with gratitude, but the bowl is now becoming quite crowded. Thank you. You're not the first person. If you look at my stories today, you'll see a lovely friend and follower of the Crystal Bar has actually just cleared their money bowl and had $160 in it. Now, what I will say is a Thursday or a Friday are best. This is Venus's days and prosperity days. New moons are brilliant. Don't worry about dismantling your money bowl. If things have become a bit stale or stopped sort of being extra sparkly and golden financially or in your life abundantly, perhaps take that as a sign this needs to be done. If things are still going really well for you, don't have to rock the apple cart if you don't want to. It's all good. Leave it as it is and keep feeding your money bowl every Friday. But new moons, Thursdays and Fridays are the best days. Just dismantle it, and as you do, give thanks to the money bowl and bury any herbs that have been in the bowl and dry them. Any affirmations, you can renew those as well with some selenite. Just waft a piece of selenite over those and then put them aside to come back into the bowl if you wish. If not, again, bury that paper and give thanks. And then just start rebuilding, my lovelies. Okay, but the important thing is as well, all of the money you've placed in that money bowl should be spent on your future, your goals and your dreams. So even if you've got a saving fund for a holiday, a new house, a new laptop, some new pens and papers for your artwork, whatever it might be, spend that money towards your goal or your financial future, okay? And then start again. It's quite simple. It's quite simple, really. Don't overthink it, enjoy it, give thanks, and enjoy the whole process again. And then finally, our spooky story of the week as we lead up to Halloween. And this one gave me some real chills when I read it. One of our listeners sent me a message saying that she'd been out for dinner at a lovely old pub with her friends. Throughout the evening, she kept noticing this elegant woman walk past their table. She had this beautiful perfume, the kind of scent that lingers softly in the air. Each time she passed, she smiled politely, and on her way to and from the ladies' room, she always nodded at the listener that sent me this story. Now, after the third or fourth time, our listener thought, I have to ask her what perfume that is. So she waited until she needed the bathroom herself and followed in, ready to ask. But when she opened the door, there was nobody there. No sound, no footsteps, no perfume. The bathroom doors were all open. The room was completely empty. She returned to her table, told her friends what happened, and they were all a bit gobsmacked. None of them could remember seeing the lady, but they remembered smelling the smell of the perfume. And she never saw the woman again that night. She hadn't seen her leave the bathroom. None of her friends had noticed either. So, yes, a little reminder that during this time of year, when the veil between the worlds is thinning, sometimes the spirits just want to enjoy a night out too. Oh my gosh, honestly. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, those spirits, I've actually had a few lovely messages from some of you who are having spiritual activity and they just want to make themselves known. I don't know how I would have felt. I don't know how you would have felt if this happened to you. It seemed like she was a very friendly lady and perhaps just wanted to show off again. But the fact that they could smell the perfume is just absolutely incredible. So as we move through this magical, mysterious Scorpio season, stay grounded, stay open, and keep your energy clear. Send a little love to Arnie, please, some playtime energy to Ivy, and do keep your minds open to whatever the universe, and maybe a friendly spirit or two, wants to show you. Thank you for being here, though. Thank you for being here, for your love, for your messages, your orders, your trust, and for being part of this amazing community. It doesn't go unnoticed, okay? You're all the absolute best. But until next time, I'm sending you some peace, protection, and from my pumpkin patch, I'm sending you blessings. But no, lots of love from me, Arnie and Ivy, and all the magic at the Crystal Bar. But just remember, the right crystal will always find you. Before you go, I have a very special discount code for you, especially for those of you who love buying crystals. So, the code is podcastcrystal. If you use this at checkout at thecrystalbar.co.uk, you will get a very secret discount. And yes, it is a secret because I changed the value of the code throughout the year. So who knows what discount you will receive. But I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it beneficial. And if you have, I'd be really grateful if you could just leave a comment, leave a review. And of course, if you have a friend who loves crystals just like us, please do share it with them. Sending you love, sending you light. Have a great week because honestly, my lovelies, you really do deserve it. And as I said earlier, remember, the right crystal will always find you.